You can learn a lot by looking at warning letters from different agencies. The FDA has warning letters, the European Medicines Agency has warning letters, and it's very easy to find them. Just go European Medicines Agency. They don't call it warning letters, they call it, there's another word for it, it'll come back to me, but there's another word besides warning letters. Oh, Certificate of Compliance. Just type in that word and you'll get that. The United Nations also has one, by the way. Let me give you some examples. Now, I mentioned the Japanese problem today of the cars and steel. Here's another recent one from last month. Shandong Vianor in China. Firm failed to ensure that lab records included complete data. Your management acknowledged falsifying analytical test results that were used to support your release of something to the United States. Not good, huh? And then your analysts revealed that the so-and-so lot was subpotent. However, the certificate of analysis provided showed it was within spec. When questioned about why the C of A reported passing results, even though the batch actually failed, your quality unit manager stated, "I made a mistake." My question is, where's QA? Because that was the lab manager. Where was QA? Where was their audits? Or more importantly, where's the audits that should have been happening from their clients? Because they're making API for American customers. What happened to their audits? This is a real interesting one from a company called Wockhardt in India. Wockhardt is a huge Indian hospital group. Same here as we have North Shore Connect and we have the other chains here in the States. Wockhardt has about 200 hospitals. And they decided that really they should vertically integrate in every way possible. So they bought the makers of sheets so they could get all the sheets at a cheap rate into the hospitals. And then they said, we can do the same with drugs. And they started up doing drug manufacture. Only trouble was they didn't have much idea about GMP and drug manufacture in general. So they've had repeatedly warning letters. And this one from December, while reviewing gas chromatography data on instrument so-and-so, our investigator found unreported results, including OOS test results for raw materials. You didn't investigate or explain why you failed to investigate. Also found you reported only 2 of 3 chromatographic injections during in-process sample testing for residual solvent. You didn't explain why you excluded the 3rd injection. Not good. And your response indicates you have initiated a retrospective review of data over a multi-year period, but your response is inadequate because it does not explain the depth of your electronic data review. So you begin to see how FDA's expectation on data integrity is getting tougher and tougher. Let's go to a place that is about, what, 2 miles from here? Probably? 1 mile from here. Morton Grove Pharmaceuticals. Now, Morton Grove has a very interesting history. Because over the last 20 years, it's gone through successive series of ownerships and changing from investment groups to pharmaceutical groups to investment group, and now to a pharmaceutical ownership. Morton Grove Pharmaceutical always had the same name in the same building. It is now owned by Wockhardt of India. The same Wockhardt of the previous slide. And your firm hasn't got proper controls over computer systems. Investigators observe that IT staff in your facility share the usernames and passwords to access your electronic data storage system. Your IT staff can delete or change directories and files without telling anybody. That is a major basic data integrity issue. Really serious issue. It could be that their IT group here, a mile from here, takes directions straight from the IT group in India. Could be. Who knows? All I know is that Wockhardt is not doing well with data integrity anywhere in the world. It also goes on, your failed lab to ensure that lab records include complete data. When our investigator reviewed your investigation of the above failure results, we found your investigation assigned the cause of the failures to analyst error if repeat tests delivered passing results. The original results were invalidated without scientific justification under the protocol, and only retest results were reported. You can't do that. That comes back to your basic CAPA investigations. Your investigations have to have scientific rationale and validity before you say, these results are lab error, analyst error. In fact, companies that attribute more than 10% of all their problems with investigations to analysts are probably not doing a good job in the investigation, because it's real quick and easy to blame the analyst and move on. So that's a huge issue there. Japanese company earlier this year, the audit trail showed you performed this testing in duplicate. The audit trail indicated you conducted the sequence analyzing impurities of that lot. The audit trail showed a new sequence was started 24 hours after the first sequence. None of the 19 chromatograms generated in the first sequence were maintained and available for review. So, okay, I don't have the original data. I don't know why you got rid of it, what was wrong with it. So how do I know I can trust the second set of data? That's all comes out from looking at the audit trail. And on the second set of chromatograms, you could not provide any rationale for not maintaining the original data, and you failed to document the scientific justification for repeating the analysis. And again, it goes on. You don't mention electronic data for your ultraviolet visible spectrophotometer, and you don't have an audit trail. And in addition, you revise the procedure called Procedure on Testing Records. All the data generated from any analytical device should be kept as records. However, your response is inadequate. You haven't conducted a retrospective review to determine how your failure to maintain records affects the quality of drugs previously made. So nowadays, if FDA comes up with a data integrity problem, it's not just one batch today that's the problem. They now want you to go back and look at all the previous batches you made to make sure this data integrity problem doesn't affect all of them. And I've had a client where he's had to go back through 3 years worth of data for a specific product because that's the shelf life on the market. And the FDA says, well, we find a problem in today's analysis. How do we know the last 3 years worth of data is okay? Can you imagine the workload to do that? It's unreal. So all this comes back to data integrity. I'm only trying to give you an introduction. I've got a one-day seminar on this stuff. So I hope I've given you some thoughts, some ideas. And if there's a big black cloud hanging over the room, good. But remember, data integrity depends on you. It's how you work within the framework of your company. And I thank you for your attention. If there's any questions, please, now's the time. I apologize. I rushed a bit because I knew we were at least half an hour late. So if there's any questions, please, anything. Yes, sir.
You mentioned recording the time.
Yes.
So when you are here in more in one place, I see this pretty easy to implement. But if you work for a company who do service, and my client is sometime in Chicago, sometime in New York, and I don't change my computer clock, now I'm printing my printout as an hour difference compared to each time I say started the thing and I look at the clock, but my printout is like an hour off every time.
There's a solution to that, an easy solution. I have a client who makes product in America, but one of their tests is so super specialized specific, the equipment to do it is based in Germany. Mm-hmm. And so they sent the sample over to Germany to do it. So now how do we synchronize all the clocks? Have you heard of Universal Coordinated Time, GMT? That company, all of their clocks in every facility everywhere worldwide runs on GMT or UTC. That's the way you get out.
Sort of a trending issue for you. Where do you see the end game trending to this? I mean, it seems like it's still divergent in a lot of respects in terms of complexity.
I guess there is no end to the complexity of the. No, really. Every somebody comes up with a new system, a new thing to replace the cloud, then we're going to have to figure out everything about that. It's just an ongoing thing. It's like counterfeit drugs. How do you ever get ahead of the counterfeiters? You don't. You have to always react. It's the same with this. How do you get ahead of it? You can't, because new technology, new ways of working. You're always going on. For me as a consultant, it's great. FDA comes out with new regulations, I get more business. For you guys who work with it, it's a pain in the neck. That's all I can answer. Sorry, John. Merci, Nicola. Yes, please.
Hi, I'm wondering if you see a general backsliding in this. In my experience, it seems like as there's pressure to do things faster and faster, this is the stuff that slips. And so maybe, is this becoming more of a problem? That's why FDA is looking at it, because it's a common thing. People are getting sloppy in it, maybe?
Interesting. Why is FDA looking at people who are getting sloppy? The more FDA concentrates on things like validation, things like data integrity, the more we're noticing in the industry, basic GMPs are just dropping away. People don't focus on that. So things like forgetting to sign a batch record. Well, you should have gone automatic, so it's automatically done. So yes, there is this huge problem. As soon as FDA picks a new topic to concentrate on, everybody runs to worry about that, and then other stuff gets left behind. It's just the way it is. Yes, please.
So what's the cure for cloud storage? Do you have a disk farm somewhere in a file cabinet of your own?
The cure for cloud storage requires you to have an agreement with a mythical company somewhere, who knows. The cure is the old-fashioned cure. Have a backup that's stored off-site. You control the data. You know where it is. You know anything about it. Cost effectiveness, I don't know. But I'm saying that's the cure. I don't trust the cloud. I keep nothing on the cloud. Even my backups are always onto a local drive, kept in another building. Yes, please.
Yeah, in a parallel world of patent laws have changed and times dates and proofs. Time of invention is now different. When you went to commercialization, you have to prove that you did or did not have a product for commercialization. How does these approaches to data integrity reflect upon patent integrity?
I'll be honest, I don't deal with intellectual property, so I don't even know how to answer your question. I'm sorry. I know what I'm an expert in, and I know what I'm not, and I stay away from what I'm not. Sorry. Yes, please.
Yeah, you mentioned audit trail review. In the example you gave was in the laboratory. Do you see that extending beyond the laboratory for all computer systems?
I've seen it with process computers where in the production area you can change the parameters of the production. There's an audit trail there, and you review that as part of the batch record review to make sure that the new inputted data, if, for example, it says stirred at a temperature of 90 to 110, and they can change that depending on whatever. And so you want to make sure that the guy changed it to something correct. So yes, I want to see the audit trail.
And that audit trail will be printed out in part of
As part of the printout of temperatures and times, and also be the audit trail. So that's becoming common.
And then another question, you mentioned also to incorporate this into like quality agreements or technical agreements. And are you seeing language like that going into
Oh yes,
quality agreements?
oh yes, absolutely. And it gets very complicated when the technical agreement includes that your supplier, let's say a contract lab, is using the cloud for its storages. Then it gets very complicated. But yes, I am seeing it in agreements. Last chance? Going once? If you have any questions in the future, on the back slide is my email address. Don't try and phone me, I'm never there. But send me an email and I'll get you an answer within 24 hours. Thank you, everybody.